Nudgel Show, and if you ain't one of them, it's probably time to go. This is Nudgel Show, yeah, this is Nudgel Show, and if you ain't one of them, it's probably time to go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. I'm, of course, Hickory the Drunk and Underwhelming. Welcome to TDAU Live, episode 11. A drunk Magi and a drag queen walking to a live stream. That's right. I'm going to be sitting down with Mona Lotz. We're going to be talking a lot tonight. And I'm excited. We got some ridiculous stories. And yeah, there's been a lot going on this past week. If you haven't heard, Taylor Swift is fucking everywhere. And Taylor, I wish you would have just kept your relationship secret and let the NFL die like it was going to. But that's just me. I'm not a sports guy. Also, in breaking news, we got a story about some Reese's. Yeah, we got to talk about AI and where that's going. And of course, I have a lot of awesome questions to get into with Mona. So without further ado, let's get into the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's TDAU Live, episode 11.
Yeah! Back, baby!
Are you saying you want to show me your kids?
This is the story of a drunk who grew up kind of a punk, and then all his friends left him, and now he's here alone. This is the story of a drunk who grew up kind of punk. Now he's here doing the Drunk and Underwhelming live show.
This is a weird show.
Drunk and Underwhelming live show. Drunk and Underwhelming live show. Drunk and Underwhelming live show.
That's right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's episode 11. We're in it. TDAU Live. Thank you guys for being here. And without further ado, please help me welcome with a warm heart to our spotlight stage someone I'm meeting along with you guys, and I'm really excited to have this guest. Please help me welcome Miss Mona Lotz. Mona, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you. Give a quick introduction on yourself and just kind of let everyone know what you do.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to know, did you write that song, and is that your opening?
Oh yeah, that's all in-house
Love
production.
It. I wrote mine. You wrote all the music and everything. I love it.
Yeah, produced from the ground up. That's all.
Well, my opening song is the theme of the Muppets, and I rewrote it.
Oh, that's great.
So I'm Mona Lotz. I reside in Ashtabula, Ohio, which is the very tip-top northeast corner of Ohio, where like step over and we're in Pennsylvania. So we're the opposite side of Toledo, if you're familiar with Ohio at all. The word Ashtabula means river of many fish. It's Native American. So
okay.
A lot of people, I just like to throw that out there. Largest lake in Nass County with the least amount of people in Ohio. So I've been performing since a very early age. But I started drag about, I think I'm like hitting 15 years now. I've always just loved creating characters, and a friend of mine said, we went to a drag show, and I was like, man, I've always wanted to do it. And it was my best friend, and he was like, well, why don't you do it? And like 2 weeks later, I had a drag family, excuse me. Of course, now I'm going to start coughing, right?
It's quite all right.
It's this crazy weather. Do you have this crazy weather going on in Vermont?
Oh, it's been actually the past week's been kind of calm, but before that we had like storm after storm after storm, and it's just been wicked dry in between them.
Yeah, we have this crazy fog that no one knows about.
Oh,
like we
didn't get the fog. I saw about it. I saw a couple articles and some really crazy video. But
yeah, they say it's okay, it's healthy, but all of us are like, can't breathe and having tested and stuff. So anyway, so I perform. I'm a live singing drag queen. I don't lip sync unless I'm impersonating, which I do Dolly Parton, the evil queen from Snow White, and Joan Crawford. Other than that, I sing everything. And we started a show 3 years ago called Lots of Tea. It actually started when I got 10,000 followers on TikTok. Just hit 15,000 last week.
Congrats.
And yeah, thank you. So I just got on to thank everybody. I was in drag. I was sitting in my kitchen, I had like the lights down. I the Wi-Fi lights had them on blue and purple and just, shining off the stainless steel, refrigerator and everything. It was really cool. And everyone was just like, why don't you do this? And I'm like, really? So it just kind of was like an interview kind of thing with drag queens, and whatnot. And then my job like took over, and I couldn't do it anymore. Like I was working like crazy hours. So we just put it on the back burner. And this past year with everything that's been going on, I thought, you know what? I want to revamp the show and call it, it's still called Lots of Tea with Mona. And our motto is helping hurting hearts. I have a licensed therapist who's my co-hostess. And we talk about anything and everything that, people deal with, narcissistic relationships. My first show coming back was actually right when everything was going on in Tennessee with the drag community. I don't know if anyone saw Kim Spoon. She was the little curly head, fire breathing drag. And I just love her to death. She's got the megaphone and just yelling at people, you got to get out there and support, you can't just be an ally from your seats. We're here because we got to do something. And had her on the show, and Story Van Ness, who was, big in the news around then as well. And then my drag mother, Danielle Vasquez. And we had like a great, great show to come back on. And after that, it's just been absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And I'm so blessed. And this season, we're in season 3 now. So it's going good.
Nice.
And it's great to be here.
And you said it started 3 years ago. What did it have to do with the novel coronavirus? Was that anything to do with the start of your show?
That was kind of. I actually, yes. When the virus came and went, and I actually retired when the economy started up. And people just didn't go out anymore. If they did go out, they didn't have money. They watched your show and they were like, "Oh, you did great," but they had enough money to buy one beer. And they weren't tipping, and the bars didn't want to pay you. They hardly ever did. And so I was like, Mona's her own business. If I have to dip into my my account, my Michael is my real name. I started having to dip in there for like gas and stuff. I'm like, this isn't, it's not working out. So I just retired and I kept everything, for whatever reason. I sold a lot of it, but the person never paid me, so I got it back, which I was fortunate enough
Very fortunate to get it back.
Yeah. But I came back and I was like, you know what? I was asked to go to the club that I was left. I was the show director there to start a brunch, and started a brunch. And here I am back. After how many years has it been now? 4 years we're going on. So I've been back 4 years now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's been that long.
Yeah, I know, right? And so when all that was happening too, my little town here in the middle of nowhere, they're announcing that they're having a little pride gathering. So I reached out to them and I'm like, "Hi, I'm your drag queen from the area. I would love to get involved." And so we turned this thing in 2 weeks. We turned this into a massive event where 4,000 people came.
Wow.
Like literally, like it's crazy. And we're going in our fourth year. I'm actually the president and founder of it now because we started its own nonprofit, a branch of itself. And, we're just gung-ho with it. I can't wait.
That's awesome. This show actually, the first 4 seasons were called Drunken Under Quarantine Show. The whole thing started because, for the first month, so like the emergency declaration or whatever, the 15 days to slow the spread started in March. And by the time we hit about the end of April, I think it had all sunk in with me and most of my friends, like, oh shit, we're not going back to the comedy club for a while.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I need a way to like continue to write material. And I need to stay in touch with my friends because, like, if we don't stay in touch and together when things start to get going again, we're not going to have that, like, strong core team again to get things going. And at that part,
right,
I was pretty well involved. There's a local comedy club called the Woolen Mill Comedy Club. That's the second official comedy club up in Vermont. It's one of only 2 comedy clubs. There is other places that host comedy shows, but it's one of 2 comedy clubs in the state. And I've been the house magician there for years. And it's a small, like 40 person place that actually started in a back room of a pizza joint in town, and eventually got its own space. And now it's like a 40-person dedicated club with a sound system and the whole shebang. And the coolest part is it's got an authentic, real brick back behind the stage because the building is an old woolen mill, which was
That's
the entire
yeah.
for those who don't know, it was the entire economy of Vermont up until like I forget like early 1900s, but the entire
Really?
the entire state of Vermont was run on wool production, and it was just
Wow.
it was sheep farms like as far as the eye could see, and we had actually clear cut like the entire state. So everybody thinks of Vermont as this like really big green place with all these trees everywhere, and the
Yeah.
truth is, I think around the turn of the century, 1900s, there was like nothing. It was all fields with rock walls and sheep. And as
Wow.
that industry started to die off, we took a big initiative to start planting trees, and now we have so basically Vermont's all new forest. There's no like old forest in Vermont.
Oh.
But it's crazy because it's the Green Mountain State, and everybody thinks
Yeah,
of it as
right.
this, you know, it's the big beautiful green
knew?
place that you can drive from Boston or New York to and go skiing.
Yeah, and you just ruined it for everybody now.
Yep. So
Now no one wants to go.
Spoiler alert, guys. That's right. You'll just
Come
have to
on over
come
to
here.
my- Yeah, come on over to we're wine country where I'm from. I'm surrounded by vineyards. Yeah, farmland and vineyards.
Actually, that's becoming a thing in Vermont now. Is
Is it really?
Yeah. So a couple higher up, I don't know what to call them, wine enthusiasts, grape horticulture folk. I believe at Dartmouth developed like one of the first couple cold resistant wine crops, and yeah,
Wow.
now there's like 5 or 6 strains. Actually, I know 3 or 4 people who have private vineyards and another couple people who have commercial ones. But no, Vermont's main exports or main production is we do tourism. That's about it. But as far as stuff we produce, it's bacon, beer, mainly IPAs and double IPAs. Actually, Vermont style double IPA is its own beer style technically.
Really?
Cheddar cheese and maple syrup.
Oh, you had me
Is
at
the
cheddar cheese. I love cheese.
Yeah, me too. It's one of
Do
my
you have
favorite
ice wine? That's the question.
We do, but it's not popular here, like at all. Like it's
It
it's
takes a
very
lot to-
niche. It's
It
very
is
niche.
so sweet. Ooh.
No, I would
it's
say
expensive.
we have far more cideries than we
Really?
have. Yep, we have quite a few vineyards, or not vineyards, orchards. There's at least 3 big ones throughout the state, and we probably have 5 or 6 fairly large craft cider producers. Which is
Wow.
nothing compared to the beer scene, because the beer scene is like you can't go to a town in Vermont and not run into a brewery.
Now, is that just regular apple cider or is that fermented?
Oh,
They
yeah,
do
all
both.
fermented.
Yeah.
Mostly fermented. There's only, I think there's only 2 cider places in the state that produce non-alcoholic cider.
There's a really good cider, and I don't know where it comes from, but it's cloudy. It's not like all this filter to it. I think it's like it's got moon in the name or something. Try it out. It's so good. It's like eating an apple.
Ooh,
It is so
sounds
good.
good.
You have a couple of those, and you're like, woo!
Yep. No,
Definitely.
as much as sometimes I hate the state, I love this place.
Yeah,
It's
that's how
one
I
of
am
those-
too.
Yeah, I think that's how most people are, is you always find those things. Like I actually said to a friend today, is like, I'm constantly thinking that this state is trying to make me leave. Like every time I turn around, we're making stuff more expensive or
Yeah.
we had a huge population boom in COVID. That was like a,
Really?
yeah. So when a bunch of people move out of Boston and New York City, they look for greener pastures, and no joke, the property rates here, they still haven't come back to baseline. Like we're still,
Wow.
I've seen more properties bought sight unseen in my life in the past 4 years than like ever. And some of them have been like, I have no idea why these people are buying this. Like,
Yeah.
I would never in my life. And then you see them just, take everything down and build something new.
Right.
Yeah, we also
Wow.
have a minor celebrity boom has been happening where there's been a number of celebrities moving here, but I think it's because it's within driving distance to New York City. I mean, the drive sucks; it's like 5 hours, but it's still within driving distance. So I
Right.
like it. But no, it's been Vermont's a weird mix. It's like the working class it's either crunchy granola. crunchy granola, pot smoking liberal hippie, or like salt of the earth, hardworking redneck.
Okay.
And then there's like the money class. Those are the
Right.
three. And then you know, and the interesting part is, for the most part, our politicians in the state are all mixed throughout them. So there's like really interesting debates, and yeah, it's one of those weird.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, we're the state of Bernie Sanders. Like, if that doesn't say enough, that's
There you go.
yeah.
I mean, that, you know, just the little meme alone that's traveled around.
Oh yeah, we
Him in his
had
seat.
we had the seat meme on the show for like a half a season at one point.
Did you really?
Yeah, yeah, we had him right in the middle of us, like right in the old overlay
Yeah.
where the names connected, and he was like sitting right in the middle, sticking up over our names.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, we've had a bunch of a bunch of ridiculous political memes on the show, but no, try to keep it a little more lighthearted now.
Hey, you
It's
have to in
depressing.
these days. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we learned. Was like, it's fun because it's all the time and it's easy,
Right.
because there's so much political bullshit going on all the
Yeah.
time, for no matter what side you look at, who's involved, whether it's, you know, from far left progressive to far right or alt right or whatever. There's always shit.
I do a section called Spill the Tea, and we named the biggest teabagger.
Okay.
So, and then most of it's all political stuff. So yeah,
Yep. Fair
that's
enough.
great. My co-hostess, she has she likes to mushroom stamp too. So if it's
Oh.
really, really bad, and she actually has a penis stamp, rubber stamp that she pulls out. And, yeah,
Oh,
it's great.
I think you might like. So this happened when the potato head controversy happened.
Oh Jesus!
I remember. I remember
Yes.
posting an Instagram post that said I had a long, hard chat with my potato
Yeah.
head, and he still strongly identifies as Mister.
Oh my gosh!
So yeah, he's been sitting up there forever. Oh, this was also cool. This was the coolest Secret Santa gift I got this year. I don't know if you've seen this, but it's Rupon's
Oh,
Diaries.
No, that's so
it's-
cool.
It's from I can't say the acronym. Oh, it's PHAG.
PHAG.
So I'm not
That's
not
funny.
really allowed to say it.
Yeah.
As an acronym, but it's the Philadelphia Home Art Garden, and they make funky, cool celebrity ones. And yeah, I got this as Secret Santa.
I wonder why they made her a yellow duck.
That's a very good question. And to be honest, I didn't
Almost
even,
Simpson looking.
I was just so blown away that there was
Yeah.
a RuPaul drag duck.
That's hilarious.
they
I did
went
not
into
know
the-
that.
They went into the detail of like putting "You Better Quack" on the side, and the "Don't Duck It Up."
funny.
Like,
That is hilarious.
yep.
Wonder what she feels about that.
I don't know. I was wondering that myself, and then I was like, I don't know. Part of me would be honored, but also part is like using your identity for sales. But at the
Yeah,
same
and-
time, they seem
then-
to be fairly charitable. I don't know though.
Me and my polar pop.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the fact that she's yellow.
Yes,
You can't get past that part.
that's fair. It does have that Simpsons-esque quality.
It does,
But
doesn't
also
it? Yeah.
makes you wonder why they didn't have a more melaninated duck.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
why there wasn't a
Unless they're all that, I don't know.
like all the old axe ducks. I remember the axe duck was a black duck. I don't know
Yeah.
if you'd ever seen. I used to have one of those in the back, the thing behind the back seats in the car. It just sat there. Yeah, he had like.
Yep.
I liked him because he had the horns. I think he had horns in his saddle. I can't remember. I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah, I don't remember that. My
Oh,
phone
yeah.
keeps coming out.
That was back when axe was cool.
Right.
Or at least I maybe it was just me and I was a stupid teenage boy at the time when it came out. But anyways, it was a cool Secret Santa gift.
That is cool.
Let's get into the first story. The gift that nobody needed. Reese's. Who let this go wrong?
I
It's from the New York Post. Reese's Valentine's Day pink heart candy compared to male anatomy. I can't unsee this. It's published January 24th.
I'm blown away.
They're going
You
nuts.
just showed it. It's totally nuts. When you showed it to that's the first time I've seen it.
Oh, okay. I love that.
And I'm like,
yeah.
what in the heck?
The snack size Valentine's Day treat takes the appearance of a dangling scrotum when turned upside down, many astute sleuths observed. I love the poetic writing the New York Post has.
Right.
Reese's thought pink hearts would be cute, but I think they missed the mark on this one, an ex-user posted. I can't unsee this, someone wrote on Facebook. Here we go.
It just
looks like a perfect little sack.
it's not even a cute heart.
No, like I feel most of their shapes at least kind of get it.
Yeah.
But this one is just so far off. Like it I don't know why they decided to make it so long and narrow. Like it should have
Right,
been
because they already have a heart at Halloween
Yeah.
or at Halloween, at Valentine's Day. Well, they're both, fearful holidays. But yeah, I don't understand why they made it so long, and it's like bumpy.
yeah. Like it just needs
Like
some,
it-
I want to find one just so I can
Stop
put some
it.
hairs on it and get a good photo of them. The pink Reese's Valentine's heart or something, wrote someone on X. Adding insult to injury, parent company Hershey's boasts that these snack-sized candies are perfect for dropping off at coworkers' desks or for classroom exchanges.
Oh
Yeah.
my!
And for Valentine's Day, miss, I am teabagging you.
Right? Ta-da!
is what that feels like. It means like that's
Yeah, does that person still have their job that created that mold?
I don't know, man. I'd like to think that their quality control would have been a little better than this. But,
Somebody would have caught it. Jeez Louise.
and the poetic writing. The pink hearts, which fittingly contain nuts, were launched some years ago. The virality has recently taken hold. Some with their eye on the ball suggest a resemblance to the rather round rear of SpongeBob SquarePants character Patrick Star. Actually, that's not a bad...
That's yeah.
That does look like Patrick's.
I see it.
Patrick's rear.
Yep.
Apparently, the shape of the Reese's themed treats or something customers get quite testy over. Man, this article, they really went for it.
They did. They really did. I mean, look at it down there. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a heart at all.
No.
With a little carving, I feel like there's almost an outline of a dong there. Like
Right?
it's like it's just a little more like. It does make me wonder. I'm gonna pull it up on X so we can get a full size view on this bad boy.
Oh, that's so bad.
Yeah, I almost feel like if we just shave a little here
Yeah.
and a little here, it would be like the
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah, I don't get the unsmoothness of it. It's so. Oh, and pink, and they made it pink.
Oh god, I should look up the oh, what was her name? Oh, I can't even. I wish I could remember. So a chocolate producer in Vermont actually produced a chocolate a while ago. I should have pulled up. I didn't even think about it until just now. Produced a chocolate vulva candy. And it was a fundraiser for it was like $1 per went to Planned Parenthood. Oh yeah, here, found a photo. Boom. Yeah, so they actually did a
Get out of here.
I'll zoom in on that a little more.
Oh,
They did a caramelized caramelized chocolate one and like the gold copper wrapping, and then there was a dark chocolate and black, and then there was a peppermint or raspberry. I think it says peppermint there, but I think there was a raspberry one too, and pink. And yeah, it was chocolate vulvas. I actually remember the store that I work my muggle job at. Got
too
yelled
funny.
at by some lady for being like, this is like a damn porn store in here with the. They're just like, yeah, you could shop elsewhere. We don't care. We're doing fine, miss. I promise you. As the only specialty shop in this town, I think we're gonna be fine. You can go to the normal grocery store down the road.
right.
But yeah, that was fun. Unfortunately, this company has been, has changed. I think the original owner got accused and stepped down and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, but they do produce a chocolate vulva, and things like that just make me laugh. And I'm glad that other people like me exist. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. I don't want one.
fair enough.
I have no interest in it.
I don't have a whole lot of interest in chocolate myself. I'm not a chocolate guy, but actually, so the first time I saw one was for a, but they did it for a special event before they ended up actually like boxing them and marketing them and doing a big fundraiser. But I remember one of my coworkers came in and it's like, I've got a vagina on a stick. I was like, that's adorable. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is exactly
Oh my
what I
gosh. Oh, how funny. What is it that you were drinking? I keep trying to read it.
Oh, this is Second Fiddle. This is Fiddlehead Brewery up in Burlington, Vermont, or technically Shelburne, but yeah, Fiddlehead. Second Fiddle is their double IPA, and they're pretty.
I thought it was pickle something because it looked like it had sliced pickles on it, but I think those are just, what are they, leaves or something?
No, they're Fiddleheads.
Okay. Oh, yeah, they are.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Second Fiddle, and then
Yeah.
they're Fiddlehead, and their flagship beer is Fiddlehead IPA, and this is the double version, Second Fiddle. And then
Nice.
they produce a bunch of other great beers too, but
Awesome.
yeah, I'm not sure if I'm in love with like the color schemes that
Yeah.
they chose. They're kind of like, I don't know. I mean, they're earthy. I get it. Fiddlehead, earthy.
They're very Irish.
Yep.
Got a little Irish feel to it.
The old Fiddlehead. You guys have those around you?
The fiddles?
You know what a Fiddlehead is? Like the green?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yep. They're little things that
They like
pop
curl
open.
around and yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then you got to get them before they extend.
I never knew that's what they were called, but
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yep. People love those things. They grow all over the place by me, but like we live on not a main road, but a road, and they're usually on the side, and we're just like, yeah, no, there's enough 2-stroke engines rolling through here. We get a lot of snowmobile and 4-wheeler traffic up in my neck of the woods, so we don't tend to eat things that grow on the side of the road.
Yeah. Are they edible?
Oh yes. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, Fiddleheads are like they actually people bring them into stores and you can get them people buy them foraged Fiddleheads. Scapes is another big one here.
Yeah.
It's, wild garlic.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're delicious though.
Yep.
What does a fiddlehead taste like?
It's kind of got like a mildy asparagus type thing going on, but
Okay.
not, I don't know. It's a different texture. The texture is really nice. Like that's the part that gets me about the Fiddlehead. If they're blanched well, you blanch them and then saute them in typically like a butter garlic thing. And they're very good. They're just it's like one time a year. And they're also, they're very seasonal. And they're like, you get like throughout the state, there's probably a month, but you have like a week and a half harvest time, like where you got to find them and cut them, depending on what microclimate you're in, because the state's all over the place. Like my buddy's house gets twice the snow we get.
Wow.
Every snowstorm, and he lives 45 minutes away.
I can have all 4 seasons in one day here. Well, I'm not. It's wonderful.
You guys get a lot of snow regularly in the winter?
We used to, and then it kind of died off a little bit. And then 2 years ago, oh my gosh, they closed everything. When I opened my garage door, the snow was up to the top of my snowblower, like where,
Wow.
Yeah, it was like up to my knees. It was crazy. And that was overnight. It was like no snow to like 3 feet.
That's wild.
It was insane.
But
we had hardly any at all.
I'm
this
like
year.
a couple feet right now. Yeah, a couple feet
Really?
average. I mean,
It's been raining and just.
Oh yeah, we've had way more rain and ice than normal. But yeah, as far as snow goes, it's like 2 or 3 feet. It's a pretty mild year for us, like 5 to 6 probably the average.
Yeah.
Like to the point where like I can't see over the snowbanks getting onto my driveway by peak.
Wow.
That's pretty normal. I mean, not nearly as bad as it is in places like Tahoe and stuff where they have to have like the giant chutes on the snowblowers that like,
Yeah.
no, we don't quite get it that bad, but no, there's we get a good amount. It depends on the year though. Like we've had a lot of shit years recently. But you know, that's why they make it on the mountain.
Right.
That's why they spend millions of dollars on infrastructure to make artificial snow, and so that people
Yeah, exactly.
who have the money to spend $2,000 on a season pass can be happy.
Right. I'm not a skier. Mm.
No, I did it a little bit growing up and pretty much quit by the time I was like 6th grade. I was like, this is silly. And now it's just too expensive. It's too expensive and it's
I
way
just want it to be
too
cold.
I'm just the guy that's nervous about getting hit by someone else. You know, it's not like
Yeah.
it's not that I'm ever like nervous about like me not being in control of myself. It's
You get
that
hit by someone else and then they knock you into the tree. Right.
yeah. Or
Yeah.
even just they hit you at a good rate of speed. And it's like that's not how I want to spend my day off.
No.
I'd I'd rather be doing something creative.
I totally agree
Nothing
with
wrong
you.
with skiing, and I don't have anything against my friends who enjoy it, but not my shtick. That's for sure.
No.
Mountain biking's blown up here too. If that's a thing you guys have, but
Yes.
that was like a thing that like 2 or 3 people did when I grew up, and now it's like every dad I know like
It's a
goes
bike.
downhill mountain biking. It's like a weird yeah, they're putting in trails everywhere, and
We're starting to like climb into kayaking and canoeing kind of thing.
okay.
It's been a big hit now. Yeah. So it'll be eventually you'll be doing that. So get ready to buy a kayak.
I was gonna say I actually have 2.
What's
Yeah,
that?
I actually have 2.
Do you? I have one. I have one too. I love it.
We kayak because and to be honest, I'm not even really that into it. The wife loves fishing, and I like being left alone in a boat. So
Yeah.
it works out great for us.
Yeah.
So no, we do some kayaking. Although stand-up paddleboarding has been the rage here for a little while.
I just can't do it. It scares the living daylights out of me.
Oh yeah, we have like stand-up yoga or stand-up paddleboard
Yeah.
yoga classes and shit now.
My friend's daughter owns the it's called Harbor Yak. They have just a brilliant place. They actually own now. It's the old Coast Guard building. They have pontoon boats now, and that's pontoon boats.
That's
They're
awesome.
really amazing. Yeah, they're so cool. But yeah, they do the yoga thing, and nope, nope,
Yeah. Yeah, I have no
no,
interest in
thank
like
you.
getting wet
Yeah.
while doing yoga.
Right?
It's not
And I'm not a
Have you
morning
ever-
person, so I'm not coming up and doing sunrise yoga either.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we need like a sunset yoga
Yeah,
with cocktails. That's
right.
that's where you'll find the drunken underwhelming is the sunset. So
I'll be right over there with
I'll just
you.
I'll just be out there watching. I'm not even gonna sipping and hanging out. Like
Have a
hey,
martini and
you guys,
little sun
you guys-
hat.
You guys like to pretend you do yoga too? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I'm here with my martini, just hanging out.
Right.
I paid the entrance fee, so it's like I did it.
That's right. You got the t-shirt.
Second ridiculous story we'll share before we get into Q&A. Proposed California bill would electronically restrict cars from going over the speed limit. Yeah, this was from ABC 7. San Francisco, the California Senator Scott Wiener has introduced a new set of bills to make streets safer across the state, including the one thing that would change how you drive. It would require any new car or truck made or sold in the state 2027 or later make special technology installed in the car called speed governors, which is a funny statement on its own because governors have existed in vehicles for like decades.
Well, you know what this is doing though. You know what's coming next. They've already announced that.
The kill switch.
Yep.
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 Yep. That's no. You're
Police
totally
will
right.
get you with the kill switch.
The device would make it physically impossible for vehicles to go 10 miles per hour over the posted speed limits. It's just the part where it just kills me inside because I'm like, if you really cared, wouldn't you say you would have to go the speed limit? Like that would be but now we're cool with
Yeah.
you doing 10 miles over what we state the law should be. It's ridiculousness. It's
I just chalk it up to another one.
peak level political bullshit going on.
Mm-hmm.
Another part of the measure would require large trucks to install side guards to prevent pedestrians, cyclists, and other vehicles from getting sucked underneath the truck during a crash. As I would love to see some statistics and see how common that is. I'm sure.
Yeah, right.
The once a year will totally.
Like who is? Yeah, how many people are getting hit by trucks?
I can't. And especially pedestrians and cyclists getting sucked under the truck.
I've never heard of that.
No, me neither. I've only seen it in action movies. The only time I've ever seen anything go underneath the truck is during a really cool car chase scene.
Right.
And that's how like a guy gets away at the end. He does the drift underneath the truck.
Right.
And then the other car hits the truck.
Car.
Yeah, to get
you know how they say if you get close to it, the semi will pull your car. Have you ever heard that?
I have.
And I can't even get that to happen. I can't imagine getting sucked underneath it. Like it's
yeah. But no, we need to legislate.
He was doing so good, and all of a sudden that damn truck went by.
It just sucked him in. It was
sucked him right under there. Haven't seen him since.
It was like the Fargo series. You didn't want to keep watching, but you were just so drawn in that you couldn't stop. So
right,
it sucked you right in.
There is just so much. Like when I'm researching for my show for this, I just am blown away at some of the things that the legislation. Oh my lord, the things going on right now. It is. I just sit and I'm like, am I like? Is this real life?
Which is crazy because the on the future, the next thing I see that like Congress is going to take a strong push up for. I mean, other than trying to go to war like we're always trying to do.
Right.
The next social push I see is probably, especially after the Taylor Swift AI stories that came out this past week, is a push towards regulating AI.
Yeah.
Which I'm not completely saying I disagree with. However, I think a bunch of 70-year-old men are probably not the people to make these decisions.
Right.
Or even anybody in Congress. Like these people are not the people that should be making those decisions. I saw.
Well, why not? They make doctors' decisions and everything else. So I mean,
yeah. No, I saw a ridiculous meme the other day that said like it's funny how in the general workplace people in their 70s and 80s are having ageism against them because they like don't know the current technology and nobody thinks they're going to be able to keep up. Meanwhile, our country is solely governed by them.
Right.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense.
They don't even know how to speak.
They're so out of touch.
They are.
It's mind-boggling, as you see by trying to implement 10 miles over the speed limit. I mean, like my GPS doesn't know what the speed limit is on a road in Vermont half the time anyways. Like I can't imagine how pissed I would be if I drove the entire way to work at 25 miles an hour because my car never realized I passed the 50 sign.
Right. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine that?
Like how would you even do it?
Funny.
Like the only possible way the funniest part is that the government couldn't do it alone. They would have to outsource this project to like Google and be like, we have to have Google go around and collect all the speed limits so that we can enter it in a database, and that way your car knows where it is based on the GPS.
Yeah.
And even then, somebody's going to end up in a lake because we all know how GPS works out.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful
for people who don't pay attention. Like, holy shit. Yeah, that's an interesting. I did see this article, and I just wanted to share it with you because I was absolutely stoked at how good a branding these people have. And who knows, you may know somebody from this group, but Seattle comedy show Dungeons and Drag Queens blends adventures and the absurd. I'm like, that's fucking clever right there.
That is.
I like that a whole lot. That appeals to all the geek in me.
Yeah, they got the little nerdy kid down there. I love it.
Yeah, that's the kicker. Is you've got like the drag queens looking great with
and what if that's a lesbian?
Could be
a lesbian.
I got a thing for elf ears that was enough to distract me. I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't even pay attention after that. It was like Dungeons and Dragons and beautiful people with elf ears.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Please bring it everywhere.
Sounds like a fun leather bar.
Yeah, that's true. Dungeons and Drag Queens.
Too
Yeah,
funny.
unfortunately, we don't have anything that cool here. Yeah, no leather bars. Not that I'm aware of, anyways. And it seems like the thing I would be aware of because I'm a drunk magician. I get invited places,
Yeah.
but
Well, Washington State, they just had this crazy raids going on everywhere. Did you see that?
no.
All over, yeah. Cops are just going in. It was like Stonewall all over again. Finding because they have real strict. I didn't realize their laws are really strict in Washington State.
Which is funny because I don't think of Washington State as strict.
Right.
Like I think of it as a fairly progressive place.
Yeah, and they this bar got fined because the bartender's nipple was showing. And their alcohol nudity law is very strict.
Oh, okay. So they're getting by on the anti-stripping type.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't have strippers with any nudity with alcohol.
Weird.
I'm like, good Lord. And it wasn't just like gay venues either. They went to other places, because they probably had to. But people are like, this is just what's next, We're going back in time.
Yeah.
We really are.
That's mind-boggling because I mean, is Washington it's a blue state, right? Am I wrong?
I believe so.
I always thought so. I just assumed that entire strip of the West Coast was, but maybe I'm wrong and it's not as
Let me see.
I always assumed it was like Oregon because it's what I mean, like it's in the California Oregon pathway. I just assumed it was like Vermont where we're like we are politically, Vermont is like New York City except rural.
Right.
Politically. It's like
it's part of the blue wall.
Yeah.
They have voted for all Democratic nominees since 1988.
Yep.
And I have.
The only reason in Vermont we have a Republican governor is because the person that lost to Governor Phil Scott, who's our Republican governor, he's on his third term now. When he won his initial one, he went up against a lady named Sue Mentor, who is Bloomberg backed and completely anti-gun. And that was like the one thing that the state was like,
oh,
no,
yeah,
dude, we're cool. We already had, it was like 2007. I think it was 2007. We had transgender identity protected in our Constitution. We were like the second in the nation, I think, for gay marriage in our state. And ironically, we waited until fucking 2 years ago to legalize weed and completely lost out on all the
we just did ours.
Economic success
we just
that we
legalized
could
weed.
have if we had just said, hey, we're going to be East Coast Colorado. We would have had a huge economic boom that would have helped us greatly, but instead we're idiots, and we were. That always killed me that we were second in the nation on gay marriage, but as soon as it came to, and we did, don't get me wrong, we did have some gay marriage tourism. Like that was definitely a thing that boosted.
Oh, I'm sure,
for a while.
Because of
we didn't get if we had gotten the Colorado boom, the state would probably be in a good place right now.
Yeah, right.
And instead, it's like, no, actually.
Well, they just took all of it. We just removed all of our transgender rights here in Ohio. It'll be in effect in 90 days.
Oh,
the governor vetoed it, and then they took it to the next level and passed it. So there's no affirming care at all for youth, or there's just nothing. There's nothing. It's horrible. We just got rid of when we voted marijuana as recreational now, but we got rid of the stupid abortion law that we had. Now, I'm not one for abortion. I don't think that it's not a contraceptive. It's not something like that. But I mean, if there were children that were raped and pregnant 10-year-old little girl that was raped by her stepfather, pregnant, and they had to take her across to Indiana secretly to have an abortion. We finally got rid of that, but now we're going to go. It's just I don't get it.
That's why
I don't get it.
Yeah, we're at 9 months. We're at no limits here. That's we put that in our we voted that in last cycle was abortion up to including discretion. Yeah, which is great. Like that's me. I take a I'm kind of have an extremist stance on abortion, where I'm like up till the birth certificate signed. That's because I'm sick of arguing about it with people. Right. And for me, it's not the legality and the morality thing shouldn't be conflated. For me, it's like I think if your morals tell you you can or can't, that's whatever, and the laws just shouldn't be involved. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with everything right now. Why is it your business? Why is it, if it doesn't, this is what I say, I just did this on my show. I said, if it doesn't affect you, it doesn't affect people, it doesn't change, it doesn't, just because it offends you doesn't mean that it's wrong. And that doesn't mean that we should remove it. If I want to say that I'm a turkey and wear a turkey costume every day, then let me be a turkey. If when I look in the mirror, I'm happy, that's all that matters. Why am I not allowed to be happy? Your wife's allowed to look in the mirror and say she needs a nose job and be happy. Why can't someone get breast? Yep. So the only issue I have with gender affirming care in this state, and this is very specific to Vermont, is that it's fully covered and nothing fertility wise is. And that's like, how did we, like, how is this? I don't understand. Like, that's what I'm saying. It seems like the state always is just like, Hickory, if you were smart, you'd move the fuck out of here because you're not in the class of people that should be living here right now. You should move to a more friendly place, or at the very least a fucking cheaper place.
There you go.
But it's very strange that we got, and I'm like not against it. I'm for gender affirming care being covered. The fucking part in my mind that I don't get is that insurance companies are not required to include any fertility shit. And we're the only state, like, if I actually looked up the map a while ago because I was like getting kind of upset that like, we could pay fucking $20,000 a year to insure my wife and I, but they wouldn't cover anything like when we're trying to get pregnant, and we have been for the past fucking year and 3 months, and we've spent a bunch of fucking money out of pocket on it. But the state does literally nothing. Like that is crazy. Nothing. They will not. Insurance doesn't cover fucking blood work. It doesn't cover letrozole or clomiphene. It doesn't cover IUI. It doesn't cover IVF. Literally nothing. And then, and I'm not knocking them because I think they should be able to get it, but I see friends of mine going through serious medical procedures for their gender affirming care. And I'm like, dude, that surgery you just got on your insurance is fucking twice the price of a round of IVF. And for some reason, my insurance won't cover that, even though I want to make another human being and pay more taxes and produce another fucking taxpayer consumer for you that I'm going to raise well. And so that they do well. What the fuck? Yeah. It's
so backwards everywhere.
So yeah, it's one of those where it's like, I'm not upset that people have it, but I'm also upset that I feel like
they've neglected.
We like jumped over, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like as far as like a social, like a government trying to do the right thing, we completely jumped over and ignored an entire section of people who are trying to have kids, which is ironic because they're trying to create taxpayers.
Well, there's a
state. You think the state would be about it because they're like, there's going to be another person to.
I mean, there's so many ridiculousness out there. Like, they're trying to make it obscene to even say the word gay in West Virginia. Like, Florida's off the chain. Like, we need to just saw that piece of the land off because they are like going nuts down there.
Yeah,
they're like left and right. They're doing something.
DeSantis isn't even a little more unhinged now.
In their book. In their book ban, they had a book that was banned because the author's last name was literally gay.
No shit.
They banned the book.
No shit.
Ridiculous. But they're like left and right, just like one thing after another. I was like, good Lord, I'll just do a whole segment on Florida tomorrow.
Which, I mean,
Nuts.
ironically enough, has always been the case, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I feel like there was a stretch for like 2 years where we almost did a Florida man story
Yeah.
every single time. Like, you don't even need enough politics to have Florida be crazy. I
No.
mean, it's peak craziness down there.
Yep.
That being said, I actually lamented this morning because my mom was talking about going on another family vacation. And our last family vacation was to Florida. It was the first time I've ever been. It's the first time I've ever driven the East Coast. And we went to Orlando for a week. And given it was pretty nice, like as a guy that's grown up in a snowy shithole, to be on a beach and be too hot in March was like a privilege. You know, it was like, okay, this is kind of cool.
Don't go in the middle of the summer.
Oh fuck no, dude!
It stinks. It's so hot.
March 14th is my birthday, and we were on the beach on March 14th 2 years ago. And I literally looked at my wife and I was like, you know, I thought about moving south at one point because I was like,
but you're like,
we could go someplace cheaper. That's all looking for jobs. They're looking for good quality managers. Cost of living's cheap. We could stack a bunch of money and then move back when we're ready to retire. And and I spent that one day on the beach in March in Florida.
Yeah.
I was like, no, fuck this place. Like, given like nothing else aside, no, not politics, anything. Literally just the geography was enough that I felt oppressed. And I was like, no, this is not for a pasty ass white boy like me. This is
it's not.
This is not my place. I don't belong here. And
neither's out west. I went to California, and you know they have dry heat there. You just fry. You don't even know you're frying because you're so used to the humidity. You just fry.
Yep.
I couldn't even move.
Yeah. So you don't feel it until later, and you're like, "Oh shit, I'm a lobster now."
Yeah, literally.
That's wild. Yeah, I have. I've only been to California once, and that was actually midwinter too. It was like in December in San Francisco for 3 days, and yeah, it was a time. I went out for the Good Food Awards. I actually got a work paid trip. We went out to San Fran for 3 days. And it was really funny because all these people, it's like 60 degrees out and all these people are wearing like their Canada Goose jackets and shit. And me and the guy from work are wearing polos and shorts, like just comfy as hell.
Yeah.
We're not freezing our asses off.
I went like 2 weeks after Christmas, the first time I went, and like took shorts and everything. And my aunt's like bundled up down, she lived there and she was bundled up. And I'm like, are you nuts? I'm like sweating.
It's wild.
Yeah. The best place is Hawaii. They have like the same temperature. It's like one season all year. Love it.
Nice. Yep. Never been. Never. Yeah, I guess I've never been off the continent. I can say
If
I've been
get
to
to
Canada
do it.
multiple times. I've never been south of the border, which is
Me either.
We do want to go visit Mexico at some point.
I went to Punta Cana for my friend's wedding a couple years ago. It was beautiful. That's still Dominican Republic. I mean, it's still technically.
Yep.
Hawaii, and that is.
I have friends who spend a lot of time in Costa Rica, and they love it down there. And basically, it's like one of those. As an American, if you stay in the right places, you're fine.
Yeah, that's how it was. They were like, do not.
Like most Central American places, like don't go here because you're gonna get picked up and you're gonna have to pay off a cop. And
that's what they said. They're like, do not go anywhere other than where we tell you. I was like, okay.
Yep. Like, no, I trust you guys. You know more than me.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to stay where it's safe, especially. If
I watch movies.
Especially if I'm somewhere where I'm unable to take my own protection. I tend to stay where it's safe, public and well lighted.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I'll go places that are a little more dark and dangerous at home where I know that I have the means to help situations. But as I mentioned, Vermont, wildly liberal, but we love our gun rights here. It's classically liberal, I think, is like the real root of Vermont, which is. It's an interesting place. If you ever come out, by the way, please hit me up because I would absolutely love
Definitely.
love to meet, and same if we come out to Ohio, I will definitely hit you up because
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to be shown some cool places out there. How far? I didn't mean to ask, like, because the only real place I have a grasp on is Columbus. How far from Columbus, Ohio, are you guys?
I am about 2.5 hours north. Yeah. I'm like like an hour from Cleveland.
Okay, so we're like
Yeah.
2.5 hours north of Boston.
Okay.
That's like as far as me.
Yeah.
We're very central in the state of Vermont. We're like if you were to kind of look at the weird upside down New Hampshire shape, we're right in the center. And New Hampshire
Right.
is just interesting because that's like our sister state, but it's kind of the same but wildly different. We have like a very different. I don't know. I like my New Hampshireans too, mostly libertarians, because those people are. Those are my people. Like the people who want no government but don't give a shit what you do socially.
Right.
The type of people that think my transgender friends should be able to defend their marijuana farms with fully automatic weapons. Like those are my people.
Right. There you go.
Yes.
Perfect.
Couple of questions before we get out of here, because we had a great conversation. Thank you.
We do.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
This was fun and felt effortless. You were really fun to talk to.
No, thank you. So are you.
A couple questions. Do you perform many mixed shows? And that's I ask because out here it typically seems that shows are mixed. Like I can't recall a time I've ever been to a dedicated drag show. I've never been to a dedicated burlesque show. But I have been to a lot of, as I host personally, when I do my shows, are hybrid shows where I have comics, musicians, different types of performers, burlesque, drag, magic. But a lot of the shows I've seen are mixed, like burlesque and drag, because the community is obviously very tight knit between the two. Is that common out there? Or do you guys tend to have a lot of like drag specific shows?
Our shows are primarily drag per se. I have probably, I think it was 2 years ago, performed in a mixed show with a couple burlesque performers, and I've done it a couple more times here and there. But we have a pretty big burlesque group in Cleveland, and that's who I performed with some of them. But it's not common. No. Our biggest thing is when you say mixed show, I think of we have to have someone of a different race. We have to have a drag king. We have to make sure that is all covered.
Okay.
You can't just have all white drag queens. You know what I mean? Like you have to mix it up. So
see, that's not what I necessarily meant, because when I think of a mixed show, I think of a show that has different types of
things.
Different types of performers throughout the night.
Yes.
That being said, I did have a very interesting drag king / queen performance during one of my shows that was really great. And I definitely remember a couple songs about a banana and a very great surprise ending where a skirt came off and there was a giant dong underneath.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God. We've had some good ones. I did want to ask, I'll share this one. I won't share the name of the performer, but we're doing one of the shows and and GW commented, and GW's a former host of the show. He said, I love Mona's background. Thanks for dropping by, GW's.
I love background. This is my office, honey.
It looks great, by the way. The lighting's on point.
Right.
But so during one of my shows, and I just lead this up to ask the question, a beautiful burlesque performer on stage and a well-endowed, tall, voluptuous performer, and at this point in the dance, she's doing something like this, and
getting the tassels going,
and all of a sudden one of the tassels pops off, and just slow motion flies through the air and hits a guy in the head like 4 or 5 rows back.
Oh my goodness. Did it stick?
And no, unfortunately, but he was very, like, it was just one of those moments. Like, I'm like, that probably made this guy's week, if not month, if not year. I I wanted to ask you, have you ever had any interesting wardrobe malfunctions during live shows?
Oh my gosh, the only one that I can think of is offhand is we were doing. I come from a drag family, like God bless my drag father, Skylar Styles. We always had themed shows constantly. So it was, I think, New Year's Eve, and we did like Dancing Through the Decades, and I was the 70s. So I'm singing a disco song, and I had on like the platforms, like, the whole thing. And I was up on this top stage, and I start to walk down, and the whole thing just broke right off.
Well, like the heel snapped from the.
Oh, the whole thing, yeah. So it's like now it's broken off, and it's like, and I don't know why we had duct taped the strap around my ankle. I don't know if it was for support or what, but now I'm walking. I've got one big heel, and I can't get the freaking thing off, and and it's like flopping around on the stage. Clock, 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 clock. And finally, I looked at a lesbian. I was like, "Do you have a knife that you can cut this off?" Because they always carry a knife, or in their tool belt. But
as I do.
But yeah, you're right. But yeah, that's definitely one of the memories of total. Like, what are you gonna do now? Yeah, but I've never had like any. I did have a nipple slip.
Oh yeah.
I did, and I was in a pageant. And
sorry, I didn't mean to sound quite as excited about that.
Right?
It's just,
and it was even my guy nipple too.
Like,
that was it was like my real nipple. I had the it was an evening gown, and had this not happened, I would have won this pageant. And my drag sister was my dresser, and she was like, "Do not lift your hands up," because she knew, like, when I did this whole like thing when I would turn around to present the dress, I had this, and she's like, "Don't do it. Come up with something else." And I turned around, that nipple went boop, and got marked right off.
No.
And she's like looking at me, and I didn't even realize I did it. I just kept on modeling, and my nipple was out the whole time. Yeah.
Okay. So the last big one I got is 2 parts. Well, actually 3, but I'll follow up with the third one. I'll ask the first 2 questions in concert. How do you prepare for a performance? Both part 1, song selection and costuming. Like, how do you build your package in your head? And secondly, what goes on in your head before you walk out on stage?
Song selection is I have certain songs that I do when I first go somewhere for the first time, because
like
one is
safety set.
One is very big vocals for me, so it showcases my voice. One is hilarious and vulgar. It's a Jackie Beat song called Fever. Look it up. It's to Fever, and it's great. And then then the other one, I just figure out whatever's going on. But if it's not a theme show, those are the ones that I do. Costuming, I have so much clothes over there, so many costumes. It's just, there's certain, if I'm doing I have a rock look, I do a lot of rock songs, classic rock kind of feel. Now I'm doing, going into like this, I'm starting a band. I think I told you when we were talking before, Mona and the Milk Chasers, and which I love the name. And we're actually, like the No Resolve. Have you heard them? The guy, the UPS driver or whatever he was, and they take like songs that like they do Hello.
Okay.
Adele's Hello, but it's rock style. We're doing a lot of that kind of stuff.
That's
so I just kind of go with what the song kind of leads me to. I always take a lot more than I should. So I always take 2 or 3 outfits extra, just in case I'm just not feeling it or I'm bloated that day, something. So.
And when you're sitting backstage, what happens? What do you do to prepare for, like, before you go out on a live show? Like, is there anything, do you have like any pre-ritual stuff that you dig into? Do you like throw on a favorite song, or do you just kind of sit and breathe?
I guess I'm talking to the queens and laughing and having a good time, and
nice.
Grab my microphone, and usually it's just I've been performing since I was a kid, so it's just kind of, I still have the nerves.
As a live singing queen, do you do vocal warm-ups and stuff?
I do a little bit. I usually, yes, I practice my songs prior, while I'm driving there, while my assistant's driving. Do a couple songs, to warm up and stuff like that.
And then, is there any, before you go live on a stream, is there any pre-ritual type things that you do to make yourself more comfortable before you're like live on the internet? Because that's almost to more people than it is at a live show, but on the flip side, it's also not, because it's very private and you're by yourself or with another person or four.
Yep. We have a very interactive audience, which is nice. They're just always like, because our topics are so, in depth. But I always, my camera, I broke well, first of all, my MacBook got stolen 2 years ago, which was devastating. So I got a Surface, and I really liked it, and the camera was amazing. Well, a couple months ago, I kind of like knocked it over while I was sleeping and like busted all the charging and all that, and the screen went black and it's dead. So I right now have this old, it's a ThinkPad.
Oh, wow.
And this camera is not really cute, and it bothers me. So I'm like changing the lights, and I'm trying to because it's just not cute.
It's getting by though. You're
it's working.
To be honest, you're still looking way better than a lot of guests. So just
thank you.
throw that out there.
And I would love to go out.
Gino said Mona needs to come out here. We have one hell of a show.
Yeah, I would do it.
That would
definitely.
And the last question I have before we get on out of here tonight.
You got to show my picture though.
Oh yes, I absolutely do. Thank you. For those who are curious, and I was absolutely blown away when this was sent to me, because I was like, holy shit. Like I've seen, especially with TikTok, like my wife, I'm not being a TikTok person. I do have a TikTok account for
well, follow me because I'm,
I will on both of my accounts. I'll give you a little boost there.
Thank you.
Both me and Molasses have accounts because we're different people just trapped in the same body. But the wife watches a lot of like crazy catfish transformations.
Yeah.
And like people that are just like not attractive at all, and then 10 pounds of makeup later, you're like, oh,
I know,
God,
isn't it
like
crazy?
should be on. And to be honest, this one was like even more mind-boggling because I was like,
you're trying to find me.
Shit, like, dude, absolutely just mind-boggling. That it's beautiful.
That is me.
You do a hell of a job.
Thank you.
And I was absolutely stunned. I was just
I
like,
appreciate that.
holy shit. I showed a couple people at work because I was like, hey, this is like who I have on the show this week. And they usually like to hear what's going on. And I was like, yeah. Secondly, on that same tangent, I wanted to tell you that I absolutely adore the name because my muggle mother, my actual mother's name is Mona. And so it holds a special place in my heart.
I love that.
It was one of those where like, even in her day, she was like the only Mona.
Yeah.
It was very, very rare name. And so, no, absolutely adore it. And
thank you. It's got a lot of power to it. It's got a lot of, it's a good name. It really is.
It's a solid name. And,
yeah.
I remember like friends growing up were always like, you mean Ramona? And I'm like, no, her name's Mona.
No.
It's like my dad, his actual name is Jay, literally Jay. So people are always like, oh, Jason. He's like, no, it's Jay.
James. Yeah.
No, it's not James. It's not.
It's
Jay. And people don't get it, but yeah, it was. Goddamn! Thank you, Mona. That's a hell of a transformation.
Thank you.
How long? I will ask this one. I'm sorry, we're going a little long. How long does it take you to do makeup?
I don't like to rush. When I started, it was like definitely like 3 to 4 hours. I keep from start to finish. I mean, everything is, I like to keep it about 3 hours. But face wise, I can do my face. I've done my face in the car, go on my way, like accidentally slept in and, painted my face quickly in an hour. And sometimes had the best face, that I've ever painted, because you don't have time to you have to make it right. So, but yeah, I like to keep it about 3 hours for, everything. Because you put your nails on and, your padding and all that too. So it's a lot.
But okay, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you guys for joining us. Mona, anything you want to plug before we get on out of here, dear?
I just want to tell you to just love each other and, be there for each other. And no matter what, just be you.
Amen. Thank you for joining me, dear. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Had a great time.
Thank you guys for joining us. I am, of course, Hickory the Drunken Underwhelming. This has been the Drunken Under Quarantine show. Or sorry, still get that messed up once in a while. This has been TDAU Live, episode 11. Drunk Magi and a drunk Magi and a drag queen walk into a live stream with Mona Lotz. Until next time, please, guys, stay safe, stay sane, stay underwhelming. Most importantly, stay sane in these trying times. We'll see you then. Drunk Magician out.
Above all else, I just want to say thank you. Have a beautiful night. Drunk Magician out. Cheers. Now let's get the credit.